Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today I am doing another dress to impress video, and in today's video we are doing a little coffee chat along with Lana Lore and some things you might have missed in the new summer quest for Dress to Impress. So if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get right into this video. So let's start off with the quest. So the quest was released this past Saturday, and it was absolutely so much fun and a little scary. And if you guys haven't played it yet, I'm going to tell you right now, there are some jump scares. And if you haven't already, go back to our previous videos and watch because it is hilarious. I had so much fun. We had so much fun. And it was a lot of fun. So the first thing that I want to talk about was this new quest. We have two options, and the first option is investigate the music, and you basically get to create your own destiny. So as you drop down on the boat and find like the dance floor on the island, the game tells you to fill this party meter. And by dancing on the floor, like you have to stand on the tiles, which you dance kind of like after every round in the actual game, you have to fill up that meter. Well, the same thing goes for this. As soon as you do fill up this meter, then what happens is the entire dance floor has seashells and it just says enjoy the party. So after that task, we have to serve smoothies to these little tiki people, which are very cute, by the way, but they're very demanding. And if you don't serve them on time or you do a wrong smoothie for them, then they end up disappearing. And you, like, luckily, there's not like a time limit, I don't believe. But if you don't serve them, then they run away. At first, it was very, very hard to like grasp the whole idea, but it was very fun. And you have to like serve 10 of these little tiki people. So after you complete this task, then it cuts to the players like in the boat again. And they notice like something shining in the distance, and there is like what is to be like treasure. So we have another option of keep sailing or investigate the treasure. So if they keep sailing, we will eventually trigger like the investigate the fog. We'll talk about in just a moment. And then if you picked like keep on searching for the treasure, then we arrive on what is like the shipwreck. And if you guys didn't notice, this is the same boat that has been leaked in like the first like additional video that they posted with Lana playing with her bow, and it was confirmed that it was like going to be on June 28th. In the second one, or in the second video that they posted, the boat is just there, but Lana disappeared. And it's the boat that is referenced throughout this entire, like up to this update, which was so crazy. I had goosebumps when it happened. So this ship is completely destroyed, and you have to basically go get the treasure on this obby, which I totally sucked at, and thank goodness for Noah because he is like the master of obbies. He was able to complete it and get us through. And so you have to like jump on these like barrels and broken like boat anchors and wheels and stuff. And then after you bring back the treasure, there are pirates surrounding the yacht. There's like this big anchor that hooks onto the boat. And then Scarlet Fierce tells us that she wants us to give us all of our valuables and everything that we own. Now, let's pause here for just a second. So, I was kind of bummed because we were leaked a lot of like there's going to be sirens and mermaids and, you know, like everything to do with sirens and mermaids. And we even got like a clip of like the lady who is the voice actor of the siren, like noises and stuff like that. However, I didn't think about this yesterday until I was recording the video that I was going to originally post today, but decided not to. And this is something that clicked. And I don't know if it was because like a show I watched or if I just thought about it randomly. But in this clip, you see like a set of two boats. And in these two boats are like a set of two pirate, or it's like two pirates and another male. And then we have a lady that just showed up on the like boat itself. Now, I looked this up yesterday and I said, can sirens turn into humans? And my answer I knew was like, yeah. So in many stories and myths, sirens have the ability to transform into humans, or at least appear as humans. Now, and they're called like shapeshifters, basically. It's basically where you can turn into like anything you want. Like, what if those pirates were actually sirens, and those sirens turned into humans, and they were on the boats and on like the little boats on the side and stuff, but they're actually sirens? And or what if Captain Scarlet is that big monstrous, like huge monster that we have to end up defeating later in like part 2 of the quest? So that's my theory. Let me know down in the comments what you think about that, because I think that it has something to do with that. There is another cutscene that I completely forgot about as well, and this was the full Dress to Impress cutscene when we had to jump in like at a certain time. It was one of the updates, and then like it was after like the mermaid round was like implemented into the game. And this cutscene was basically just a look into the actual game itself. It had like, it looked like it was like underwater. It went through like the VIP area with like the light shining down from like outside in that like pavilion thing. And then we had, and then it was like it came through the window and Lana was there. She was playing with that boat again. And then it said, the sea deer travelers tell a different story, one of greed, wrath, and pride. As the moon shines, it illuminates the lies. Under the moonlight, evil cannot as easily hide. This is a summer you'll truly never forget. Now, this same moon is also in or on the island where the creepy monster is, and we'll again talk about that in just a moment. But then it flashes to that secret underwater area that was like under DTI for like not even a very long time, but it had like the mermaids, the sirens, the anchor. It had like the pillar, and I'm not sure, I don't think so, but like what I was thinking was, what if these sirens that were underneath are actually the people that were in those small boats next to the yacht when Scarlet or Captain Scarlet showed up? They look very similar. So I'm going to put like a comparison right up here on the screen of like all of the characters that were in this cutscene. But then we also have that, like, it wasn't a body. It was basically like the head and then the shoes, which we all thought that this might have been Lana. But again, this is not Lana because Lana doesn't have that hair. And this is the same hair that in the cutscene from the Christmas update where she's walking away from and she gets on the boat and she has like the hood on, and they're saying, we're never going to meet again. And this is same, like, pretty sure this is the same girl. Again, we'll talk about that in just a moment. But then it goes like all red. We all assume maybe this might be A because A is known for being, red and black and creepy. So that is my theory on those sirens. Not sirens, but humans. And I think that what happened is that they are actually sirens looking like humans. So let me know in the comments below if that is your theory as well, or if you have a different one. So after you complete this part of the investigate the music, then you receive the jacket of Scarlet Fierce, and it is so beautiful. It was a nice, smooth, like easy quest compared to the one that we're going to talk about here in just a moment. So then the second option where you can like basically control your destiny within this quest is No Man's Land Island. And my theory about why it's called this is because every time that we see what we think is A on the screen, it says question mark, question mark, question mark. So my theory is that the reason why it's called No Man's Land is because it's actually like where A lives. This is where he might be held captive or cursed to. So this is the island of like a death or whatever. So this cutscene is very like scary. It's dark. It has torches, palm trees. It has the moon that I just talked about. And then you have to discover the island's secrets. There's traps all around the island. And these traps are no joke. Like, if you get trapped in them, you better make sure that you are not by the monster and you're good at playing the game. Because if you do get trapped, there's like a little thing down at the bottom and you have to like click it 3 times to get out of the trap. It's like a revive almost. First thing that you have to do when you get into this island is you have to go discover the cave. So once you discover the cave, then the timer starts, and it's a $10 is a 10-minute timer. So then this 10-minute timer slowly ticks down, and you have to go find the 5 or 6 clues. And these are all placed among like the perimeter of the island, except for like the exception of I think like 2. And those, like, one is hidden up on the hill, and then one is like on like secret like place on the ground, like in this bush area, I believe. And then once you get to, or you get all of the codes, which I was very excited that you didn't have to like scramble them and put them in order or remember them, because oh my god, that would have took forever. But once you pick up these codes, it actually puts the code right up on the wall within the cave that you found in the beginning, and then you have to enter that code and it opens like the door. However, you get 3 lives on this island, and I'm glad they did that as well, because when I'm telling you that there's a jump scare, I mean there's jump scares, okay? And then there's also like those traps, and this monster does not play around. It literally chases you to your death. It is so scary. The first time it happened to me, like my heart like just vomited out of my mouth. It felt like yeah, it was crazy. So this monster that appears is very similar to a monster that we've seen in the past. So this monster was seen on Lana Does Nails YouTube. And if you didn't know, yes, she does have a YouTube. And it's like all these video clips of like security cameras and such. But this monster appears in one of these footages. And it is so creepy. I just want to tell you guys something right now. As I'm recording this video, again, I wake up really early in the morning so that like I can get content out there and have a little me time before the children wake up in my full-time job. And it's like super dark and quiet, and I'm sitting here talking about this Lana Lore stuff, and I'm kind of getting a little scared. Just thought I'd let you guys know that. A little freaky. A is gonna come out here somewhere. I'm just joking. Okay. So yes, this monster appears in footage before, and it's kind of reminds me of like a character within Doors, like one of the ones that like chases you with like a million eyeballs. But this monster is very scary, and when it does get you, it like pops up on the screen, and like it's super creepy. I'm sure you guys all know. There's also these lanterns that are around that you can like hold so that you can see better. But sometimes I feel like these actually give like your identity away to this monster, because you can see these like lights, and sometimes like you're walking around and like you'll see him like up on the hill, and then you're like, ah, and then you have to like run away from it. It's really fun. I really enjoyed this. It was different. So after you find all of these codes, and like honestly, I think the best way to get through this is to do it with like a bigger team. Like, so when you go into like the beginning, there's like options to play with 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5. So we were always doing it with like a higher group. That way that you have more chances of finding all the codes and getting like the code so you can open the door. So, but my thing is I don't know that like if you work with a group, if everybody in that group gets like the item, or if it's just the person that puts in the code, because Noah and I were playing and he did die, but he was like still in the game. And when I put in the code, he did not get the item, but I did. So I'm not really sure if everybody has to do it to where they all put in a code to get the item. Let me know down in the comments if that happened to you as well. There wasn't too much on this island that I thought was like stood out, other than the colors of the island, like the green and the blue, were very similar to the trailer that we got for the summer quest with the girls with the flashlights, and they were like looking in the cave, and then there was this big monster. By the way, I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping to like fight this huge monster. That's the monster I thought was going to be jump scaring us. Okay, not this creepy dude. But maybe that's coming in part 2. So that looks similar, and other than that, like not too much stood out to me in this. And then after you put in the code, then you get to go into the secret door. Now the secret door looks very similar to the door that is in the meat room and the door that is in the lobby after you place the podium and do a round and it says Lana is missing. So that door looks very, very similar. And I thought that maybe once you go in the store, then you would like go into the lobby or you would go into the meat room. But it actually takes you into the Lana Lore cutscene that we're going to talk about. And I am so excited because I have so much to go over. So let's talk about this cutscene. Now, when I first watched it, of course, I was like, ah. But then, you know me, and I like to break down everything, and that's exactly what I did. So, I'm going to show you this clip. And then we're going to break it down. So in this cutscene, you see the same symbols that we saw for the behind the scenes summer quest. And these symbols were the dove, the crow, the needle and thread, the tree, and then we had one where, and then we had one where it was not shown. And I'm going to play it in slow motion so that you could see. But this is the same globe from the Valentine's Day update. And I don't think many people have caught on to this. But in that cutscene for the Valentine's update, it's Cupid looking into this globe. And you see like Lana in it. And the Valentine's Day quest was the last one before this one. So it only makes sense that something from the Valentine's quest was put into this cutscene. So my theory is that, like, what if Cupid was not Cupid? What if it was, because if we go back to the beginning of my video, these like sirens and evil creatures, they can basically shape shift. And they can be anything that they want to be. What if this whole entire time Cupid was A, O was A, Santa was A. Like, all these characters that we've been introduced to, what if they haven't really been the characters the whole time? What if they've been him? So that is my theory. Let me know down in the comments what you think about that theory. So I had to go back through a little bit and kind of like investigate. And I was just trying to like think, what could it be almost time for? So again, in the Valentine's Day quest, we had this scene where it was like in this room with like boxed up wooden boxes, and it was like a dinner table, and at the front of the table it was A's name. So it had his like name at the head of the table. Now, if you've seen like movies and shows and stuff, usually the person that sits at the head of the table is like the head of the household or the head of the party or the main guest or whatever. So the most important person like at the head of the table. And so my thoughts is that that table is going to have like a set of people, and he's going to be at the head of the table and something is going to happen. That's my theory. Now, also want to point out that the things that are within this scene look very similar to other things that we've seen in the past. And one of these B Plays' videos, I remember her saying, go back to the other quests. There's going to be a lot of similar things that you see. And that's exactly what I did. So I went back, I was looking, and these like doors look very similar to the Halloween runway. And the runway have the same like doors. They don't have like the symbols, but the same doors. They have the same like designs. They have the like, I don't know if they're rubies or like jewels, but it's all in there. Here's my other theory. In this cutscene, we finally get like a peek of what A looks like, or what he might look like. And Noah and I were trying to look back, and we came across the cutscene for the Christmas update. So we went back and we rewatched the winter cutscene, and just like I was saying just a little bit ago, what if A is able to turn it into everything like that he wants? He's able to transform to anything he wants. So my theory is that this guy, this new character that we were introduced to, he says, you're finally safe for now. I wish you safe passage to your final destination. They won't find you there. So one thing that kind of like threw me off a little bit is I've seen this a million times, but he says, you're finally safe for now. Now, that can be taken one or two ways. Like, okay, you're finally safe for now. Yay. Or you're finally safe for now. Like he knows something is coming. And the way that he's like standing with his hand against his chest, the way that he's built looks very similar to this new new A that we were introduced to in this cutscene. It has like the Greek, like, I don't know what it's called, sash or whatever along his chest. He's built similar. What if he wanted her to get on this boat because he knew it was going to be wrecked? People are saying that this is Lana's doppelganger, and maybe he was like, okay, maybe this is the real Lana. I know that the ship is going to wreck. I'm going to go ahead and put her on this boat because I want her dead, blah, 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 blah. So that's one of the theories that I have. Because why else would we be introduced to these two characters? So in this cutscene, we also have the owl. Now, this owl, I know plays an important role because we see it in the Christmas quest as well. And the owl is in the window. So when you look up the definition for owl, there's a couple that come up. So there's the good side, which means like symbols of knowledge and wisdom. This is all in Greek mythology. We all know that this whole entire Lana Lore is like Greek mythology. And then we have the bad side of like the meaning, which means like superstition or doom or death. So like there's a couple theories that could go with that. It could be Lana's or Epithelia's like guidance and like somebody watching over her, or it could be somebody watching over her and it's like this bad omen. So either way, I mean, there's two ways you could go about it. And kind of brings me back to the Valentine's quest when Cupid was looking through the globe. Now, again, Cupid cannot, maybe Cupid isn't Cupid and it is or this owl that like transformed into Cupid, but they're watching through the globe. I mean, there's so many different things here. So after you finish this part of the quest and we get that special like cutscene, it says to be continued. Now we did get confirmation that there will be a part 2 quest. Now, I don't know if there's going to be a part 3, but normally when we have quests, there's like 3 parts. So I'm hoping that there will be. So I'm really excited to see what could be in this next quest. Things that we didn't see, again, were the sirens, but maybe we did, and they were the pirates. We didn't see that big, crazy monster that was underneath like the caves, or maybe that cave symbolized the cave that you had to find in the beginning of the No Man's Island. Maybe that's the cave it was referring to. We didn't see like that big crazy like monster come out of the sea, or maybe that was the monster that destroyed the ship. And then although we did see Lana in these cutscenes, she was talking to Serena, which by the way, she seems to be back, and we haven't really seen Serena in a really long time, so it was nice to see her again. But when you zoom in, for some reason I don't think that this is the real Lana. I think that this might be the doppelganger Lana, possibly. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. And then if you didn't know this, when you are done with the quest, you go under seasonal under your daily task and you collect the 300 seashells. So if you haven't done that already, make sure to go do that. Let me know what your theories are on this new cutscene, if I've missed anything, and if you want me to do more Lana Lore. I know I asked you guys yesterday if you wanted me to do more Lana Lore, and I really, really want to just break it down quest by quest, because I think this is so intriguing and interesting. So what did you guys think about the new summer quest? Are you excited for part 2? What was your favorite part of this quest? And what are your theories on what might happen next in Lana Lore? If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you guys next time. Bye!